And I did take to the edges my worn lipstick to give some highlights to the edges. Even though you can't see it on the final tag, there are some edges on there that have the pink on it to pull the pink back in, which I'm not getting a good view of that for you, sorry. So that's sort of what I ended up doing. So at this point in time, I focused in on the next step. The next step was the lace. I ended up taking this nice lace. I think I got this at Joann's, if I'm not mistaken. It is a raised lace, so I ended up first of all spraying it with a Sherbert Glimmer Mist, and then I waited for that to dry really well, and then I took my Shabby Shutters Distress ink and ended up going just over the very top using my distressing tool to give it just a very light tapping, because this is dimensional. I wanted to bring the green back in and not make it overwhelmingly pink. So I don't know if you can see it on the final tag, but I'm going to hold it up just the end of it. You're not going to be able to see it. But that is in there, so that now ties into my two greens and my pink, just needless to say. So that was very where I did the next step. The Twinkling H2Os, if anybody's interested, that is by a company called luminarte.com. That's LUMIARTE.com. And the colors I used was cyan white and black. And then the other one was a light peach, and I can't think of the peach color, but those are the colors I used on her face and hands. I then went back to getting into how I was going to lay this out onto the card. I did use pop dots, which I think you can sort of see on the side of this. Let me get rid of that. And put her on there. On the bottom, I just ended up taking my dimensional glue and taking the ribbon around to that and cut it to the edge. And when you get to the edge, I just put a little bit extra dimensional glue onto the edge of that, so that would stay together pretty well. And didn't want it to fray, so that's why I ended up doing that. Last step was I never send anything blank. I do not like tags that are blank on the back. So I ended up taking another size, the same type of tag, and this is where I ended up spraying again, and this is where I used the lime twist to give it a little bit of coloring in there. And then I did have additionally the stamp, and this stamp that I ended up using, which I'm going to show you here, is actually by Red Pearl, and they were actually a company that did a lot of Oriental Asian stamps. And this is a chop block, and on that chop block it does say the mind is easily filled, and that's basically what I did. Put that on the back of the stamp, and then your information about who made it was on the back of that. That was then glued to the back of the tag overall, let dry, and then you have a lot of fibers that are tying everything together. One more step that was not in, that I did not tell you about at this point in time, was you do have a coin charm on each one of your tags. Those are actually by Creative Imaginations. Myra Johnson made these, and these were actually brads. And I ended up having to cut the back of the brads off using a shank cutter, and smashed it down so hopefully nobody's going to get their fingers in damage or anything like that. Then I did take two of the Adirondacks. I took initially the copper and pretty well stamped those onto the back of each of those copper Adirondacks mixture, and then I also took gold and used that. Once those did dry, to tone it down a little bit more, I ended up taking some Rub and Buff, and I ended up using the antique gold Rub and Buff and a little bit of black over that to tone down, to make it look more like a coin type of coloring. And those were just mounted in the corner over here with pop dots. I know this was rather quick, but I just sort of wanted to show everybody the steps that I did do to do the stamp. I did not complete my own to keep because I ended up using my final one and gave it as a gift to somebody else, and needless to say, I do not have one that you guys are going to be receiving, so that will be a little bit of a surprise to see a complete stamp or a complete tag when it comes to you. I hope this helped. I will, if anybody wants a better listing of what actual products I use or a little better update, let me know, but I hope I did incorporate everything that I did use for you. And have a great time, and I hope everybody enjoyed doing this tag swap as much as I did. Thanks. Bye.